And welcome back to the channel. It's Commander Bolokov here, looking at Flight Simulator 2020. And also what we're checking out today is my mid-range PC build. I'd say it's mid-range, it's sort of a high mid-range PC built for gaming. Always good to do a bit of research on this. We'll be checking out why in a few moments' time as we go through this. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a detailed insight into mid-range build PCs and their capabilities. I think you're going to be surprised. And as you can see here, this is my build. The two main parts of the build, obviously the CPU. It's the i5-9600K, and if you're into all the specs and the figures and the numbers, they're there on the screen. And looking at the GPU, the graphics card, using Tech Power Up GPU, it's the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti, which is quite a surprising card when you'll see some of the performance results and the benchmarks we perform and we're taking a look at. And of course, the proof's in the pudding when we start the game up and look at the frame rates we got. Now, I had one video go out regarding Microsoft Flight Simulator. Disregard that because I had OBS running on this machine as well at the same time. And I didn't really optimize what was running in the background of this computer. And it's like night and day. I'm recording this now on a separate laptop. With OBS, so that makes a bit of it makes a hell of a difference in actual fact. So the less you've got running on the PC you're playing the game on, obviously, the better it's going to perform. Okay, so this is a look at the motherboard. It's nothing special, but it's a good old reliable workhorse card, a Gigabyte Z370P, which is the Coffee Lake chipset for the CPU. Memory, it's 2 blocks of 8 gig DDR4 memory from Corsair. As you can see, that's the DDR4, total 16 gigs in all. Now, when looking at CPUs, if you're not a computer whiz expert, you look at numbers, don't you? And when I first started looking, I thought, oh yeah, I'll get this, mid-range i7, 7700K CPU. Now, this has got a good clock speed of 4.2 gigahertz, but it's 4-core, 8 threads. Now, when I started doing some research into this, I started looking at the 9th generation i5s, the 9600K CPU. And, you look at the figures, you think, oh, that's only 3.7 gigahertz. Surely the 4.2 is better. No, it's all in its infrastructure and its multi-threading use and what it does. If you look at this using CPU-Z, comparing the i5 to the i7, similar in price range, you're getting a 16% improvement with the i5 9th generation version. So I'm glad I started to research this, and it has paid off a bit, in trying to, work out what you're going to get bang for buck, as they say. And using user benchmarks, a bit of software you download, it analyzes your whole system and comes up with a comparison report online. And this is mine. As you can see, all the specs are in there. And what it's come up with is it's saying as a gaming PC, it's an aircraft carrier. There's only 2 more above this. It got an 85% score. Desktop, nuclear submarine, workstation, 73% battleship. So it got a very good score, considering, what does this all cost me in hardware so far? About £700. So it's under the £1,000 budget. So I'd say $1,000 or thereabouts if you're in the US. PC status overall is performing way above expectations, the 91st percentile. This means that out of 100 PCs with exactly the same components, 9 performed better. The overall PC percentile is the average of each of its individual components. This PC is likely operated by a technical master. Why, thank you. I wouldn't go quite that far, but I just did a bit of homework. With an outstanding single-score core, this CPU is the cat's whiskers. It demolishes everyday tasks such as web browsing, office apps, and audio and video playback. Additionally, this processor can handle typical workstation and even moderate server workloads. Finally, with a gaming score of 98.2%, the CPU's suitability for 3D gaming is excellent. The graphics card itself got an 81.1% score for 3D. It's the business. The CPU can handle recent 3D games at high resolutions and ultra detail levels. Memory 16 gigabytes is enough RAM to run any version of Windows, and it's more than sufficient to play nearly all games. So 16 gigabyte also allows for very large file and system caches, software development and batch photo editing and processing. It has boosted my sort of video processing by a mile. As you can see here, it rates individual components that you've got there. As you can see, there's my Intel i5, 180 quid, thereabouts. And you can see on here what it's got on the benchmark, 98.2%. NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti. The Ti is performs better than the Super. So take that into note. This is the Gaming X version, whatever that label means. But it got an 81.1% score. Now, one thing I can't stress enough is conventional drives, the mechanical type drives, are just not going to cut it. You really do. I tried this when I first had it on a 7200 RPM 2 terabyte drive, and it does make a difference. It really does. It slows things down. Doesn't matter what graphics card you got, CPU you got, RAM you got. If you got a crap drive and you got a demanding game such as Microsoft Flight Simulator. At the time I bought all this stuff, I was using not Elite. What was the other things? Oh, Star Citizen, Star Citizen. That's quite intensive, and I upgraded all my drives to SSDs, and well, it was like night and day again. So it's worth going for an SSD. I've got an NVMe drive as my main drive for the operating system. Only 512 gigabytes for that. That's all you need. The rest, I've got a 500 gigabyte and 1 terabyte normal SSD cards in there, and it does. I can't stress enough just how much of a difference that makes to your system. And there's the RAM, the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro DDR4. 2 of those, that's 72 quid. And with an outstanding score of 103% there. And if you're into your graphs and your stats and your latencies and all that stuff, that's on the graph at the bottom there. So finally, I do use Msi Afterburner. I slightly overclock the card. I never push its limits. Here you can see my settings now. Depending on your build, don't copy my settings because each system is different. There's plenty of videos out there on how to set and overclock these cards. The OC setting here at the top basically does it for you, and you can just tweak it in small steps after that. That's a separate video in itself. It's probably gained me a few frames, but I don't like pushing the graphics card and the fan speed. I mean, my tower is sort of tucked away from where my desk is, so I don't really mind running the fan speed. I wouldn't say at full tilt, but I do maximize it so that it's cooling pretty well, just to keep the longevity of the system running. Okay, well, there you go. There's the system specs. Gives you an idea there. As I say, my final build, that's excluding the case, already the case, but for core components like the CPU, the graphics card, the RAM, upgraded the power supply to a 500 watt supply, and bought a Pentium cooling fan specialized thing. I'll put all the stuff in the description so you can see what I've got. Well, I've got it from where it cost, but about £700 was the upgrade cost, and well, as far as I'm concerned, it's paid off dividends, as we're going to find out. Let's jump into the game, shall we, and see what performance figures we're getting. We're going to try 3 different settings. We'll start off with basic settings. I'm going to run it on ultra high settings eventually, and you can just see how this performs, and I think you're going to be in for a bit of a surprise. Okay, so here we are at, oh, what's my engine started automatically? So turn them off a minute. We're not going anywhere anyway because I've got the parking brake on. Okay, so at Kennedy, New York. Let's sort this mic out as well. That's drooped down. Story of my life. Okay, yeah, on the runway here. So it's clear day at New York. As you can see at the moment, we're getting about 59, 60 frames a second. Here, no clouds, so it's quite clear at the moment. Let's see how we Let's see how we go now. A bit of flap on. Right, so this is not about my piloting skills, this is about frame rates at the moment, so we're averaging about 50. Oh, wow, this is a bit lively. Okay, up we go, gear up. If the managed speed at work. Okay, so let's get the pilot in a better position here. You can see New York straight in front of us there.
Airspace frequency change approved.
So about 50 odd frames at this moment.
Kennedy Tower Airbus frequency change. New York approach Airbus is type Airbus A20 and 2 miles west of Kennedy, 1,400 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace. Airbus New York approach. Squawk 5604. Squawk 5604 Airbus.
Right, let's take a look outside, see what the frame rate does. It's New York City down there somewhere. We've got about 69 frames. 60, yeah, I'd say about, let's say we're averaging about 60.
Bravo airspace Airbus. Airbus, you are leaving my airspace radar service terminated. Squawk 1200.
We'll go out to the sea here as we climb. We're about 4,500 feet
Airbus is
at
type
the moment.
Airbus A20 and 5 miles north of Charlie Golf Alpha Sierra, 4,600 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo.
You know, that's not too bad. It's not a bad frame rate for, you know,
New York approach.
considering the age of the card
0222.
and the spec of the PC. Another airfield down there.
0222 Airbus.
So I'd say about 60 frames, but then again we're in clear skies and yeah, well, we're on ultra settings at the moment. Not high, this is ultra. So obviously as we're getting higher and the scenery sort of disappears a bit, the frame rate will go up. 6,500 feet. There we go, just go around this bay area. With a steep turn. And there is New York Kennedy, where we took off to the left here. And we're averaging, yeah, I'd say about 60 odd, mid 60s. Take a look outside. You can see, zoom in, around about 70 to 80 frames. .90 frames there. You know, more than happy with that. And through the other views here, 100 frames there. So go over the airfield. There's the airfield down there. Some AI aircraft. Okay, this time, I'll see you in a second. I'll just reset this back on the ground. And we'll do this with some cloudy weather, just to see if those clouds actually make much difference. Okay, so here we are again, back on the ground. It's clear skies at the moment, so what we're going to do, we're just going to go through some of the weather options that we got here. As you can see on the ground, around about 55 clear skies, that's 59 frames a second. Let's do some few clouds, see how much of an impact that has. Give it a chance to settle down, and yeah, not much difference there, 55 to 59. And then we go scattered clouds. Just let it settle down again. So not much of a dramatic impact so far. And still, what do we want to do now? We've done scattered clouds. Let's have a little look around. Yeah, the thing is, when you first spool up, it's best to leave it for a while for everything to settle down and to get it load its settings in. And it's the same with the weather. When you change the wet weather, change it, let it settle down. You see the frame rate come up. You can see what we're using, about 80% of the graphics card at the moment. The CPUs are sitting average, I'd say 60%, 55, 60%. Let's pop this out so it's not blocking your view there. Okay, let's have a quick look around. So yeah, a little bit more choppy there, but we're sticking, I'd say, average about 60 frames a second there. So that's high clouds. Overcast, probably going to kill it. Let things catch up. There we go, that's loaded in, the weather. Yeah, it's not a bad frame rate there. I think this one with rain might really test it. Seeing we should get an animation on the screen once that's loaded up. Did I select rain? Yeah. Oh, there you go. You can see spits of rain. It's nothing drastic. Let's get lightning. Stick some of that in. Rotation. Oh, there you go. Crack of thunder. A bit of lightning. Yeah, even with cloud cover, we're still getting 70s. Oh, can hear that thunder. Okay, we'll go back to overcast, because I think where it generates the clouds, let's let that, maybe not. I think it's the one where broken clouds, that's the one that normally, because of the formation of the clouds, that is probably a good one to test this on. Okay, so there you go, that's your broken clouds there. And we're going to use this one as our next template before we take off in rain. So back in the cockpit, let's stick a little bit of flaps on. Okay, let's power up and go. Now I'm only using a gamepad at the moment. Like I said before in the last video, I'm waiting for the Airbus edition of Thrustmaster's joystick and thrust panel. That's not coming until the 24th of September. I think that's when it's released here in the UK as a package. Right, gear up, flaps up.
Airbus, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
That's in managed speed.
Kennedy Tower Airbus frequency change. New York approach Airbus is type Airbus A20 and 2 miles west of Kennedy, 1,000 feet.
Right, so we go
Request
sort of 80s here.
Bravo airspace.
You can see that it's about 60% of the GPU usage.
Squawk 7226. Squawk 7226 Airbus.
Try and follow the same sort of route as we did before.
Airbus radar contact 3 miles west of Kennedy.
So there we go, we're looking at clouds sort of forming here. And we're still getting good frame rates. Actual fact, as it's warming up, it seems to be getting better. The more you throw at it, let's level off a little bit, because I think we're going to stall if do much more of a rate of climb. Let's go external and have a look. Yeah, so really not bad at all on the frame rates here. In some cloud. say I'm really impressed with these figures. It's even beating some of the higher end spec systems that I've seen out there on YouTube.
Overspeed.
Okay, let's drop some speed.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
As I say, this isn't a test of my flying skills at the moment. This is purely just to demonstrate. Let's have a look at us going into that thick cloud formation there. There you go, still in the 80s here. Let's manage speed mode now. We're losing some height there. Okay. Let's have a look at some of the other views that we got here. There's the Tailfin view. Some of the wing views. Yeah, so really not stressing it that much at all. I don't know how the OBS laptop is doing this any justice or not. I'll soon see when I look at this footage back. But this is far better than what I was achieving when I was running it all off of this gaming PC with OBS on it. There you go, a bit of cloud there. I've lost the airport. It's around here somewhere. Some of you in the States might recognise some of these landmarks down here. I haven't a clue where I am. I know I'm in New York somewhere. I thought the airfield was around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. More to the right. Do our flight over that. Oh, maybe that's not it. No, bit of an industrial estate down there. Let's see what we get when we get above the clouds. Angle of attack was a bit steep there. Yeah, it's hard to judge from looking at an underneath view. I do like the passenger views as well, despite being in cloud at the moment. Let's get into the cockpit, see what the view's like there, breaking through the cloud.
Airbus, you are leaving my airspace radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved Airbus.
So, there we go. I'd say 70
New York approach Airbus
to 90
is type Airbus A20
frames a
and
minute.
7 miles northeast of Kennedy.
Up in
Request
cloud, that
flight
should
following.
improve.
Airbus New York approach.
There you go, you can see that wrap up now.
626.
The graphics card is just ticking over now, so
Squawk 5626 Airbus.
considering you spend most of your time up in the air, above the clouds, flying this
Airbus
thing,
radar contact 8 miles northeast of Kennedy, 9,400 feet. Altimeter 29.02.
it's perfectly playable.
Copy Airbus. Airbus contact New York Center on 121.125.
There you can see the
121.125
CPU
Airbus.
workload. It's not stressed, neither is the
New
graphics
York
card.
Center Airbus 11,000 feet.
Now you notice that my GPU fan speed sits around about 70%, and I've done that. I've made the profile for the fan to do a bit more work to keep that graphics card cool, so they're not sweating its pants off, and hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. There you go, there's some external view there, and you can see, yeah, we're in the high 80s to 100s there in frame rate with all that cloud. So yeah, I'm, you know, more than impressed. Okay, I'll see you back on the ground, and we're going to do one now taking off in a storm with some heavy rain. So I'll catch you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. So what's going on here with the flaps? What are you doing? Oh, I see. Right, okay. It's automatically put them in because it knows I'm on the wrong way for some reason. But there you go. I'd like to do it myself, but okay, let's change the weather conditions one more time. Did I just turn them off? I've just turned them off, haven't I? Spanner. Okay, so we're going to go for rain. I've turned that up last time. I don't know what the aerosol density does, but algebra. Okay. Stick a bit of lightning in there for good measure. Turn up precipitation. Right, so what we got here? So there's our cloud levels. Aerosol density, right, okay. We'll have a bit of that. Pressure, we go right low pressure. Okay, hopefully that will do us. I think we might have to stick some lights on this time. Oh, they've already been put on for us, thank you very much. There you go, just that one to stick on. Okay, so here we're on the rain, on the ground, 65 frames a second. Graphics card's working at 80%. Probably, you know, because of this cloud cover and the rain it's got to generate, and that bit of lightning as well. But meanwhile, let's go. Okay, CPU seems to be happy. GPU seems to be happy. Ooh, a bit of wind here as well. 47 frames, 45 to 47 frames at the moment. Oh, that may have been a bit heavy. Gear up. I think the gear come up. No, it didn't. Yeah, that is... Wow, there's some wind here. Why is the gear not coming up? Oh, there you go. Wow, we're getting blown all over the place here.
You are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Bit of rain.
Kennedy Tower,
Let's see how
Airbus
the wipers
frequency change.
affects it.
New York approach Airbus is type Airbus A20 and 2
So
miles
we've got
west
60,
of Kennedy, 1,300
say 60 frames a second.
Request clearance
Going
to
through this heavy
transition
cloud.
Bravo airspace.
Airbus
New York approach.
But the graphics card's still doing 70%. Let's just check out the graphics settings here. So if I go into general, graphics, I got it on, right, let's put that on ultra. Okay, so everything now is fully up. I think last time I had it on ultra, but I had a few settings turned down. Let's see how this handles all ultra in default here. So go back, resume. That's about the same. I think I only turned a few things off.
Kennedy, 2,500 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace. Maintain on navigation.
Right, well, keep this going until
Cleared through the Bravo airspace, Airbus.
we break through the clouds. And that view still 70 frames a second. We've still got about 80 frames a second.
New York Center Airbus is type Airbus A20
And this is
2 miles northwest
full
of Charlie
ultra
Golf,
settings.
Alpha Sierra. Request flight following. Airbus New York Center. Squawk 6177. Squawk 6177 Airbus. Airbus radar contact 3 miles west of Charlie Golf, Alpha
So 70
Sierra,
frames a second there.
10
With us,
altimeter
with clouds, some scenery. What are we, about 10,000, 11,000 feet? So perfectly playable, nice and smooth controls. This is in ultra settings. Lightning there. So 76% GPU usage, I'd say the average CPU looking like 50%. It's not even bothered. So we can pick up some of that lightning. Oh wow, there you go. Bit of thunder there as well. Fantastic. So I'd say we're averaging 70 frames a second there. Wow. Nice lightning strike there somewhere out to sea. Yeah, so in summary, you know, I'm not complaining with this sort of level of detail that we've got. Everything's on ultra. You know, bang for buck for what we got here for graphics card versus CPU, motherboard and RAM. I think, you know, more than happy with this. Okay, as we can see there, our angle of attack meter is going mad because I'm not keeping an eye on that. But I'll say this is flighting skill testing at the moment. Oh, I do love that lightning and thunder there. So we can pick up some more. Bit of ice forming on the wings there. I haven't got the de-icers on. Let's see what we're getting here from the wing views. Yeah, 70 frames. Not fussed with that at all. Not complaining. I mean, I like even the scratch marks that are on the windows, the detail there. Wow, that's some lightning indeed. So just to confirm them settings again, that I'm not going mad, and I put everything on ultra. So global rendering quality is ultra. Everything down here is ultra. Everything we need is on. I'd normally have that turned off. I've turned a few things off here. I think things like reflections, I just put to high. Terrain shadows, I put to 512. This is how I had it set before. So, and that's all I changed. And it obviously puts it up custom here. But proofs in the pudding here, even with the ultra settings on, we were still getting 60, 70 frames a second in worst case scenario over New York in these clouds. Wow, I just love this storm. Let's just check my rate of climb. Oh, we're still climbing. Oh, a bit of lightning there. Oh. Marvelous. Well, fantastic. I hope you. I hope this video was some use to you. You know, if you're looking at either upgrading a computer that you've got at this very moment, or you're thinking of building your own PC specifically for Flight Simulator, there you go, for bang for buck there for about $1,000, £700. You know, this is adequate enough. This, you know, you've got some nice gameplay with this. The thing with Flight Simulator, as we know, it's not really all about too much about frame rates. This is not a shoot me up game by any means. It's a gentle game, you know, one to enjoy, do your flight routes, bits and bobs. Looks like I'm gonna stall any minute now if I don't get some speed up. Oh, we're falling like a brick. No, we're not. Yes, we are. We're falling like a brick. Let's get some speed on. There you go. Looks like we've got out of that storm anyway. Normally as pilots you try and avoid the storms, but I liked being in it. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We have got another video from Captain Bolokov. Captain Bolokov's on tonight. And yeah, hopefully another video coming in from him. It'll probably be early hours of the morning here in the UK when that gets uploaded. But you'll find he's been fired from Aegean. And you'll find out why tonight he's been fired, but he's got himself another job and a nice little flight. He's going home, so hope you can catch us for that as well. Subscribe for that, and I'll catch you another time. Take care.